Moving on to the latter stages of the academic report. The next section is on interpretivism. We looked at structure versus agency at length previously. Interpretivism is the side which is on agency, and it denies the relevance of the macro approaches, in that it sees the meaning that individual actors attach to social circumstances as more important, more significant in the creation of social life than the institutions and the macro approach that the positivists will take. As it says on screen here, for interpretivism, explain the interpretivist approach and its inherent critique of positivism. If you remember when I spoke about the two candles syndrome, if 30% of households in Tiverton last night were seen to be in darkness, save two candles, a macro approach, a structuralist or positive approach, would look for large answers, maybe a power cut, maybe something significant on a larger basis. An interpretivist approach would deny the significance, saying the meaning actors attach to circumstance is more than the generalized figure. So, for instance, they would point out that there could be a number of different reasons for darkness and two candles: a romantic dinner, a second birthday, etc. So what is involved here is a critique of the scientific approach. It denies that things could be value 3, we all come from an angle, and that in fact positivist approaches only find out what they're looking for and do not represent the nature of society. As it says here, explore the dismissal of objective analysis and emphasis on subjective, non-scientific research methods. As I say, so it denies objectivity. It says that all research comes from a place, and all research to some extent is the result of the intentions of those that looked at the research. It emphasizes on the subjective. If everything is subjective, there is no denial of the subjective. And also, as it says, a denial or a promotion of or a denial of scientific methods and the promotion of non-scientific research methods, subjectivity, opinion, etc. Then going on, we're going to ask you to write under the section on quantitative research methods, quant research, countable research, numbers. Remember, we have gone through this before. Quantitative research is quantifiable research methods. This is linked clearly and directly to the positivist view of the world, in that they see observable phenomena as the key to collecting data. They're not interested in the thoughts and emotions or feelings or opinions of those they observe. They, like a scientific experiment, you wouldn't be interested, if you're looking at the life cycle of a frog, in how the frog feels. You would look at how the stages of the frog from observable point of view. You wouldn't ascribe feeling, emotion, or opinion to the frog. Here it specifies that you should look at 3 methods deployed by quantitative researchers: formal structured interviews, lab-based experiments, and sampling. Again, examples of these will be in the Quizlet exercise beneath. comparing and looking specifically at positivist approaches, and there's a few others in there as well. Going on to qualitative research, qual, it's all about words, not numbers. It's all about finding meaning that the social actors engaged in social phenomenon attach to the social world around them. Quantitative research methods, here we're looking for 3 deployed by quantitative researchers. You could look at covert observation, you could look at ethnographic research, you could look at content analysis. Okay, so lastly, your last section is under the heading 2 opposing views of the social world. Here you need to answer the question, how do quantitative and qualitative methods represent 2 opposing views of the social world? Again, we're looking at that idea of macro, micro, structured and agency, the fact that quantitative research looks at replicating the scientific method, believes that society is explicable in a direct sense, and that there is a generality of existence that means that things such as social facts and hard evidence can be unearthed. Qualitative research would look at thoughts, meanings, feelings, because it denies the relevance of that. It suggests that we live in all sorts of social worlds rather than just one, and that the scientific and quantitative method is not applicable.